Hey, how are you doing this morning? Bob Folks here for the Gilly Gloob, and just outside, as you might be able to say. It's a blustery day here, and even though it is that way, and actually they're calling for about minus 30 Celsius this evening here in Ontario, so that's a little frosty, but that's okay. We haven't had very much of it this year, and I don't mind it anyway. I like winter. We're heading out, or I am anyway, I'm heading out to the bush next week, and so looking forward to being out there with the snowshoes on and experiencing a little bit of winter. I know there's quite a bit of snow up at our camp, a little bit more than here. It's a little higher elevation, a little different weather patterns there. It's not that far away, but a little bit different. Anyway, that in mind, it is, we're talking about spring. There's lots of different things happening. People in the shop are just saying about, they've heard the chickadees' calls have changed. Northern cardinals are bunching up. The males are bunching up. It's about the first only part of the year, I should say, that they really kind of tolerate one another. Otherwise, they're sort of independent and very territorial. But that sort of indicates a little bit of spring. And then if you go back through some of your notes and stuff, if you keep those kind of things, I kind of look at mid to late February, a lot of the blackbirds show up, red-winged blackbirds and stuff, although we've had tons of those around all winter, as we've had tons of robins around, warblers, eastern bluebirds. So historically things are changing. And I was digging through a few older books I have. This one in particular is from 1945. So it's my book of birds, and it talks about a lot of different things. So lots of different changes since times of that era. This one again here is, I think, is this one's it was given as a gift to Stella in March 21st, 1931. And it's handwritten on the inside there. That's pretty cool. So a lot of different things that they talk about in here, all relatively kind of the same, but definitely obviously different. Anyway, that kind of leads me to where I was going here. We're talking about the spring is here, and there's locally there's been some conversations going on about this year's wild parsnip spraying program through the municipality. Obviously, there's two camps here. I'm kind of in the middle camp, which spraying poison on the ground to do anything isn't a solution in my view. First, there has to be an identification of the problem. And I'm not getting into the political side of the fence, but you have heard me talk about lately on some of the other Instagram stories and some of the things I do, is that I was talking about a film that really sort of started me down a road of thought on, my experience as a kid, having to walk the hay fields to make sure the ground nesting birds had finished nesting before we cut hay, that kind of thing. It was we were connected to nature and to the land back in those days. Now, farming is a totally different thing, and I get that. But it led me, there's a movie called The Biggest Little Farm, or The Little Biggest Farm, or something of that nature, and about a young couple in California that completely naturalize producing farm and utilize different aspects of nature to help them complement the farm. So from pollinators to pest control to everything, and it's worth a watch from that point of view, which got me thinking about bats. We have bat boxes at the store. We encourage people to put bat boxes up. We help people put bat boxes up. In terms of talking about location and what you expect and all those things, and I got thinking about the big brown bat, and they colonize in a very different way, very small numbers, so 8 to 20 you might have in one colony of big brown bats, and they have a fairly large wingspan. Their body is relatively big, and they're a very, very interesting critter. So it led me down a path of investigating them a little further, just for, I like to figure out those things. And one of the things that it got me to Wikipedia. So check out Big Brown Bat on Wikipedia. And the part that related to the spraying program for spring and pesticide and herbicide use in general, and then that movie in terms of that they utilized nature and worked with it. And in the 1 year that they started producing, they sold 500,000 tons of produce. So it wasn't like a mom and pop operation in their backyard. 500,000 tons is a pile of produce. And it was mostly like fruit and pears and what have you, because it was in California. Anyway, watch the movie. And so I was looking at this big brown bat biology on Wikipedia. And the part that was significantly interesting to me was that big brown bats are significant predators of agricultural pests. So I got to thinking, the municipality here locally has got a budget of about $100,000 for this spraying program. Now imagine if that $100,000 and working with agriculture, how many bat boxes could you put up around a field for $100,000? A bunch of them. However, in 1995, there was a study done that year of a colony of about 150 big brown bats. So that would be multiple boxes. But still, 150 bats. Not that many, really. Considering the little brown bat could colonize in 100 to 200, 300, 400, 500 bats. 1,000. Bonachère Caves used to have upwards of 35, 45, 55,000 bats of the little brown bat in the cage. That might have been big brown bats too. Anyway, big brown bats are significant predators of agricultural pests. A 1995 study found that per year a colony of 150 big brown bats in Indiana and Illinois. Big farm, soybean, all that kind of stuff. Same things we have here in Eastern Ontario. They ate 600,000 cucumber beetles, 194,000 scarab beetles, 158,000 leafhoppers, and 335,000 shield bugs, all of which cause serious agricultural damage. That's the message. We got to get away from trying to control everything with controlling a symptom without looking at the cause. So look at the pharmaceutical industry. You've got a pain here? Well, here's a pill for it, kind of thing. Anyway, we don't want to go down that rabbit hole. And I just always talk about raising awareness, always talk about trying something that's more natural, always trying to be in harmony with nature and enjoying nature because we're part of it. You know, and that's the other part of the disconnect here. First, there's no regard for the animals that where the spray goes in the ditches and all along for this stuff. But we're an animal on this planet, the same as anything else is. So we're doing it against ourselves. Anyway, I want to talk about the big brown bat and how significant they are. Let's get together and build some bat boxes, put them around your house, put them around your yard, put bigger ones in. If you need help with that, just let me know. We'll get you some plans or we'll help you build them, or we'll build them for you and we'll help you get them installed. Anyway, have yourself a fantastic day. We're into middle of February. Lots of migration things taking place. Early March is the interesting time, but we'll talk about that another time. Have yourself a great day. Thanks for stopping by.